In the editing section, I was talking about how to change the shots by editing them, by trimming them on the timeline. Dragging them down on the timeline, trimming the in and out points, moving it around, and then add another one, and cut between them. That's a kind of very basic change that you do to your shots. But there are other kinds of changes that you can do in Premiere as well, and that is adding effects on the material. And the video shots, so the clips that we have on the timeline, every shot on the timeline have a set of attributes, and they can be changed. And that is that is how you change these things, how you edit the shot. If I select this shot here, for example, and go to the effect controls, the effect control window, then I see the different attributes that this shot has. You can see that the name here corresponds to the name up here. But I don't see the shot here, because I have to place the time marker on the shot also. And that is actually very easy to make the arrow that you select the shot. It is very easy to make the arrow. It is very easy to make the fault that you select the shot down here and you see it in the effect control window, but you don't see it in the monitor. So you have to remember to select the shot and move the time marker to the right position. And then select the next shot and move the time marker. Because otherwise it's very easy to make changes that you don't see. So, but let's start with the first shot here. I select it and move the time marker to it. And also in the effect control window here, I can see that we have the time marker in this small local timeline here. On the left here, we have the default attributes or default effects that a shot have. The motion attributes, opacity, and something that's called time remapping, and then volume on the audio. And let's look at motion, for example. There we have the very basic things like position, scale, rotation, and so on. And of course, when I change these, the image changes. If I rotate, then of course the image will rotate. And there are two ways of changing these values, these attributes. It is click and drag, like this. I drag horizontally to either go into negative numbers or to rotate to the left here, or to rotate clockwise, I go to positive numbers. And it's the same with scale, for example, that I click and drag. Then I can click and type instead. For example, if I want this image to go back to the scale 100%, then I can click and type 100 and enter. Or if I want the rotation to be exactly 180 degrees, precisely upside down, then I type in 180 and enter to get it completely upside down, or 90 degrees or whatever. So that is a very convenient way of changing the clip. Another thing that you can do to the clips are changing the opacity. And then we can actually start experimenting a little bit with adding images on top of each other. And when we add images on top of each other and then blend them into each other in different ways, what we are actually doing is a kind of very basic compositing. And compositing is what you do in an effect program like After Effects. So in the After Effects demonstrations, I will talk much more about compositing, but you can do some very basic compositing in Premiere as well. If you look on the timeline, you'll see that we have 2 shots here on 2 separate video tracks. And it is always the shot on top that we see. So here, for example, we see this one. If I turn off the visibility of it, we see the other one below. So let's see different ways of blending these into each other. One way is, of course, to change the opacity. If I drag the opacity here in the effect control, then I will blend the 2 layers into each other.